as you all mentioned, basically, they're all very much chasing the big four, who have spent a lot of money so far this summer. Of course, probably more to come, especially for the likes of Arsenal. When you take a look exactly where they've put all their money, 250 million for Liverpool, 180 million for Arsenal, if you include Gyökeres. City with 130, Chelsea you'd expect to spend more, 140 as well. Now, what's interesting is Mark wrote about this. And what I thought was a bit weird, Mark, and I don't know if you were forced to write this by the editors, but there was a sentence within this which made me raise my eyebrows, because I thought, really, Mark, do you really believe it?
What is it?
Which was the 2025-26 season has the potential to become the most competitive title race since the Premier League began in 1992-93. Considering the drama that we've seen in the past, with those rivalries, even like City and Liverpool, you go back to Manchester United and Arsenal, those sort of things, to say that this is going to be so competitive.
Oh, wait, you want them to be negative before the season's even started? Last year was a home run for Liverpool.
He can answer his own question. Doesn't need you jumping in.
No, I know, but
doesn't need you. I just don't. I don't believe you. I suppose, Mark, is my point.
Okay. Well, you raised the point there, the rivalries. Well, there were just 2-horse races. I think this year could be a 4-horse. It's definitely a 3-horse race. And I think if Chelsea can build on their Club World Cup winning and keep place fit, there could be 4 teams going for the title. Now, I know we've said that in the past, but I think on this occasion there are 3 very strong teams, and Chelsea could be as strong. So that's what I'm saying. It could be a 4-horse race rather than a 2-horse race. Look, Liverpool-Man City rivalry was great. Man United-Arsenal rivalry was great, but it was just those 2 teams. To have 4 teams going for it, I think Chelsea are the outsider in this, but Chelsea have got the potential to challenge if they can. You know, they've got a 1-11 now. We saw that in the Club World Cup, and if they can add a couple of players, or if Enzo Maresca can find a way to get more out of the players that he's got, I think Chelsea could challenge. So that's what I mean about being competitive, that we could have 4 teams going for the title race all the way through to April and May.
I mean, City would still worry me a little bit, not going forward defensively, and Nuri coming in. I mean, good footballer.
This ain't going to be a 4-horse race. We're not going to be sat on the final day of the season with all 4 teams in contention.
No, I mean, it's unlikely we're sat here on the final day of the season and we haven't got a winner, but you just... I think there is potential for it to be more exciting than it was last year, which it wasn't very, as I say, it was a home run for Liverpool from sort of Christmas onwards. They did all the hard graft. But I do agree, I think City still have some answers defensively that the other two big cheeses don't have, Liverpool and Arsenal. I think they're pretty solid defensively. I think City have to answer that question, whether he's figured that out. And I do agree that Chelsea is the outlier. If we get the Club World Cup, Chelsea, the game against PSG, consistent, if we get the consistency, you just never know. I think it's unlikely they go all the way. I think Arsenal and Liverpool are going to go, to be honest, I think that's going to be like a head-to-head. And it's whether the other 2 can really step up. Because I think those 2 now have, in terms of the squad, I think they've just sort of stretched away a little bit in terms of quality. Even from City, who've got a big squad. And again, one of the other questions is he got the appetite, the City manager, after last year, where he was smarting from the criticism, particularly when they went on that bad run. He was excuses and talking about big squads and talking about this, that, and the next thing, when he got to the cup final, which they lost, he talked about, you know, how many semi-finals, how they'd done this and they'd done that, and he seemed to be on the back foot. And it's whether he has the desire and appetite, because the players will sense it. The players in the dressing room will sense it if he doesn't believe, Guardiola this is, that he can get them back to the top. And I know they got Rodri back, I know they've signed quite a few players, but players will sense it if he's got his own doubts. And that's going to be, I think, one of the big questions.
Frank, do you agree, Mark? This is going to be the greatest title race ever?
No, I don't think so, because in the past we have had a lot of races, and that was absolutely fantastic, and especially with Manchester United and Arsenal. We tried to cope with the situation with Chelsea. I remember one year we finished 3rd. It was very hard because they mostly never lost a game, and it was always, you know, head-to-head. I understand Mark when he says it's a 4-team race. It could be a 5, you know. Don't forget Newcastle. What's going to happen to Aston Villa?
Frank,
it can
what are you doing?
It can be very interesting.
Right. Look, no. What evidence have you seen that Liverpool and Arsenal are going to get so much weaker that the likes of Aston Villa and Newcastle are going to get involved in this title race as well?
Well, you know what? We were expecting Manchester City to be absolutely fantastic last season. I don't know if you saw what happened. So why don't you think it's possible that other teams don't have the performances that we are expecting, and why some other team like Newcastle or Aston Villa cannot cope with the situation and deal with them and create that 6-team race? Why not? Why not? We saw last season that was an exceptional. We are looking for consistency. We don't know who's going to be consistent so far. So I'm saying everything is possible. And if you are putting Newcastle out of the race where they are in the Champions League, I think you don't show too much respect to that club. So well, I think Newcastle can be in the race.
I think the problem is the last time they were in the Champions League, it really affected. Well, it seemed to really affect the league form. I think it's all. I think we're in a 3-horse race potentially, and there could be an outside runner in fourth in Chelsea. I think it's unlikely. The rest of them, as tidy as they are, and as good a managers as they have, they're going to be scrapping to try and get back into that top 5. But I think potentially we have, depending on City and Chelsea on the outside, potentially 2/3, and at the very best, particularly early on, 4 teams in it.